Now we will solve a problem on free air delivery. Uh, the problem goes like this. A single stage, single acting reciprocating air compressor. So it's a single stage compressor and it's a single acting compressor. Okay. Uh, Single stage, single acting reciprocating air compressor has a bore diameter of 20 centimeter. So the diameter of the compressor is 20 centimeter and stroke length is 30 centimeters. Compressor runs at 600 rpm. This is the speed of the compressor, and it has a clearance volume of 4% of the swept volume. Then the expansion index is 1.3. Then the data given is the suction conditions are P1 0.97 bar and temperature at T1 27 degrees centigrade. So the compressor takes in at this pressure and temperature conditions, and the delivery pressure after compression is 5.6 bar. Then also they have given the conditions at the atmosphere, outside atmospheric conditions, like atmospheric pressure as 0.01 bar and temperature as 27 degrees centigrade. So what are we supposed to find is, one is free air delivery. So we have to find out free air delivery. Then volumetric efficiency with respect to this conditions, that is atmospheric conditions. Then IP, indicated power. So we have to find out these three things. Now we will write down the data. So the data given are diameter D is equal to 0.2 meters, N is equal to 600 rpm, then L is equal to 30 centimeter, that is 0.3 meters. Then what else is given? Yeah, atmospheric conditions, that is, I will write it as free air conditions, PF, that is 1.01 bar, that is 101 kPa, and then we have inlet conditions, that is pressure and volume condition. P1 is equal to, I will write in terms of kPa, 97 kPa, and P2 is equal to 5.6 bars, that is 5.6 into 10 power 5 pascals, 10 power 5 pascals. Then otherwise it is 5.6 into 10 power 2 kPa, 10 power 2 kPa. Then we have temperature conditions corresponding to this inlet. T1 they have given as 27 degrees C, that is equal to 300 Kelvin, and temperature at outlet is not given, but temperature is given at atmospheric condition, that is atmospheric temperature is 17 degrees centigrade, that is 290 Kelvin. So you can refer to these datas: diameter, speed, stroke length, This is atmospheric condition. This is intake condition. This is outlet condition. One more data they have mentioned, that is expansion index, that is n is equal to 1.3, and clearance volume Vc is equal to 4%. So if you refer here, clearance volume is 4% of the swept volume. So I will write this as Vc is equal to 0.04 times Vs. Right. So next, we know we have to find out free air delivery, volumetric efficiency, and indicated power. I will draw a PV diagram. So I'll draw the PV diagram. So one, this is suction, 1 to 2 compression, then delivery to the tank, and the gases in the clearance volume expands to this 4. Suction, free air delivery, 3 is expansion, starting of expansion. And if I draw this P1, T1, this is P2. So now they have given this vertical distance, which is Vc, clearance volume is 4% of this total length, that is stroke volume. Vc is 4% of this stroke volume. Vc is equal to, so n they have given PV power 1.3 is equal to constant. Both this is applicable for both compression as well as expansion. So next, temperature they have mentioned 300 Kelvin, this suction temperature, and 4.4 is the effective swept volume. This is what really the air that goes into the delivery tank, that is effective swept volume. Now we will calculate V1 and V4. We need V1 and V4 because we have to calculate IP, indicated power. To get IP, we need this volume 1 minus 4, V1 minus V4. So very first we have the diameter is available, hence stroke length is also given, so we can get Vs is equal to area of the cylinder into length of the cylinder. So that is pi d square by 4 into the length is 0.3 meters. So this is answer, what we get is 0.009425 meter cube. What is this volume? This volume is stroke volume, Vs, from 1 to 3. So this total length that is Vs. Vs is equal to V1 minus V3. Then what we have is we have to get this Vc value. To get this Vc value, there is a condition Vc is equal to 4% of Vs, and hence I can write this as 0.04 times Vs, which is 3.77 into 10 power minus 4 meter cube. Right. So we have Vc, we have Vs. Next we have to find out V1. V1 is Vs plus Vc. Right. V1 is equal to Vs plus Vc. That is, you can just look at here. This is Vs plus Vc. Vs plus Vc gives you total length, or we can say complete volume till V1, that is Vs plus Vc, and that is equal to 0.0098 meter cube. 0.0098 meter cube. And now the next point is we have to calculate V4. To calculate V4, we have we can take the advantage of this expansion process, which says PV power 1.3 is equal to constant. So with that, so what we can write is V4 by V3 is equal to P3 by P4 power 1 by n. So in this graph, if you can remember, in this graph, this is 1, 2, 3, and this one is 4. So this process PV power 1.3 is equal to constant. From this process, we can write V4 by V3 is equal to P3 by P4 power 1 by n. But because 1 and 4 are same, 2 and 3 are same, I can also write this as P2 by P1 power 1 by n. I can also write this as P2 by P1 power 1 by n. So if I substitute V4 now, V4 is equal to V3 times P2 by P1. P2 and P1, if we refer the values, P2 is 97 kilopascals, or in terms of bar, if we substitute, then also it is fine because it is ratio of terms, 0.97 by 5.6. Then n is given 1.3, and V3 is equal to 3.77 into 10 power minus 4. So now if we substitute those values, V4 is equal to V3 into P2 is 5.6 bar and 0.97 bar to the power 1 by 1.3. So with the V3 value what we have already calculated, which is clearance volume, that is 3.77 into 10 power minus 4 into 5.6 by 0.97 power 1 by 1.3, we can get the value the answer what we'll get is 0.00145 meter cube. So this is V4. So now we have V4 and V1. So this is called effective swept volume. That is what we have to substitute in the equation of power, that is indicated power. Now with the help of V1 and V4 we can find out work input, that is W. So the equation for work input, that is indicated work, that is indicated work input is W is equal to, we know this triangle concept, P1, actually this is V1 if there is no clearance, because clearance is there we will take V1 minus V4. V1 minus V4 times P2 by P1 power n minus 1 by n. Similarly here n by n minus 1. So if we substitute the values in this equation, we will get the indicated work input, but we have to calculate power, indicated power IP. We should calculate IP, but we'll do it. First we'll calculate W. W is equal to 1.3 by 0.3 into 97 into V1 minus V4. We have calculated V1 minus V4, we have to substitute. If we substitute V1 minus V4, that is 0.0098 minus 0.00145, then here this is 5.6 by 0.97 minus 1. So this we will get in terms of, this is 97 into 10 power 3, here 97 into 10 power 3, hence answer what we get is 1.75 into 10 power 3 joules per cycle. If I have to get this per second or joule per second, that is watts, I can multiply this 1.75 with how many cycles per second, that is RPM. 600 RPM they have told, so that is 600 cycles per second, right? That's why we will be able to get this as 17.5 kilowatt, that is indicated power. This is indicated work. And also in the question they have asked to calculate what is the volumetric efficiency. So they have also asked to find out what is the volumetric efficiency. So volumetric efficiency is defined as the ratio of actual air taken into the its maximum capacity, that is volumetric efficiency is equal to actual air taken to the its maximum capacity. So usually maximum capacity is its stroke volume, that is if you see, if I draw like this, so this is the Vs, that is its maximum capacity, but it takes only this much. But here they have asked with respect to free air delivery condition. So if you go back to the question, if you see, the volumetric efficiency referred to free air conditions. So what we can write here is, this is Vf by Vs. Vs already we have, Vs is stroke volume, that is 0.009425. So this is stroke volume, but we don't know what is volume of this compressed gas. So this gas, volume of this compressed gas at free air conditions. So now this volume is at intake conditions. This is at the compressor intake conditions, but we have to calculate it for atmospheric conditions, that is free air conditions. To get that, we can use basic formula, that is gas constant, perfect gas equations. That is, if you see here, we have two conditions. Here this is the intake condition, that is 27 degrees centigrade or 300 Kelvin and 97 kilopascals, and we have one more condition, that is 1 bar and 17 degree condition. So this conditions and this condition are different. So free air conditions I have already explained in the previous session, so I will not go much into depth about that topic. So now in both the cases, what is common? The mass of the air remains same. So whatever the mass that air the compressor takes in, that same mass will be seen at atmospheric conditions, even at atmospheric condition, but the pressure and volume and temperatures might be different, right? So with the help of the gas law, what we can do now, we can find Vf. So I will take the help of this equation. M mass of ambient conditions is equal to mass of compressor inlet conditions. I will take this as compressor inlet condition. So with that I can equate, that is pressure, volume and temperature, pressure, volume and temperature. But here volume, what we are going to take is V1 minus V4, which is effective swept volume, and this is P1, T1. This is free air conditions, PF, VF and TF, that is nothing but atmospheric conditions. So with the help of this, we know this, we know this, we know this, everything is known. After substitution, we should be able to get Vf. Vf is equal to 0.97 into 290 divided by temperature, pressure 0.01 into 300 into 0.00835, which is equal to 0.007775. meter cube per cycle. This is 0.00775 meter cube per cycle. So the value what we have here is free air per cycle, but we have 600 cycles that runs. That's why we multiply that with 0.00775 into 600. Then we will get the volume in terms of meter cube per minute. So that value is 4.65 meter cube per minute. So this is actually free air delivery. So now this is answer for the second question, and that is first question, that is free air delivered in meter cube per minute. So they have asked per minute, and we have got the answer in terms of per minute. So 4.65 meter cube per minute. Next we'll come to this efficiency. Here Vf is there because Vs also is available. This Vs what we have substituted in the unit meter cube per cycle. That is why we substitute Vf also in terms of meter cube per cycle, that is 0.00775 divided by 0.009425, which is 82.2%. So this is answer for the second question. So we have calculated IP, volumetric efficiency, and free air delivered. Now we have a problem on multi-stage compressor. So a multi-stage compressor is a device where air is compressed to higher pressure in two or more number of stages, and after every stage the air is passed. First, in the first stage air is compressed, then it is passed to the second stage again it is a second compressor, again similarly there will be one more compressor, third compressor, all these compressors connected in series, one after the other. That type of system of compression is called multi-stage compression, and this has advantage of giving better efficiency, and what we can see with the multi-stage compression is the work input required to compress is also less. These advantages and benefits of multi-stage compression we have discussed in the previous session. Now we will start with this problem, that is the low pressure cylinder. That is there will be two cylinders, low pressure cylinder and high pressure cylinder. So in the low pressure cylinder of two stage, so number of stages, two stage, it's a double acting cylinder and double acting reciprocating compressor. It is running at 120 rpm and it has 50 centimeter cylinder dia, and the stroke length is 75 centimeter. So these two will give us the volume of the cylinder. Then it draws air at a pressure, this is air intake pressure 1 bar and 20 degrees centigrade, and it is compressed adiabatically. So this we have to identify adiabatically. So you know adiabatic compression, isothermal compression, polytropic compression. So these things we should keep in mind. This is isentropic, polytropic and isothermal process. So this is adiabatic process. The compression is to the pressure of 3 bar. So air is compressed to the 3 bar. The air is then delivered to the intercooler. So intercooler is to absorb the heat. It takes away the heat that is seen because of the compression. So the air is cooled at constant pressure. So the pressure remains the same to the temperature of 35 degrees centigrade, and then it is further compressed polytropically to 10 bar. So what you identify is from 1 bar air is compressed to 3 bar, from 3 bar air is compressed to 10 bar, right? Then what we have to determine is we have to determine the compressor power, and also there is a motor efficiency and mechanical efficiency. This is mechanical efficiency and motor efficiency that we can directly substitute in the equation, which is because of the losses what we see in the mechanical components and in the electrical motor component. We'll see what is the actual power that we can supply to the compressor to get this much of output, 10 bar output. Okay, we'll do the solution. So to solve this, we'll first note down the data. So it's a 2-stage, it's a double acting, it is 2-stage and it is double acting compressor. So it has running RPM of 120 RPM, then length 0.75 meters, and temperature, inlet temperature is T1, which is 20 degrees centigrade, that is equal to 293 Kelvin. So this data refers to what we have discussed here. So I'm just noting down all these data. Then T3 is equal to 35 degrees centigrade, that is 308 Kelvin. Next we have mechanical efficiency 0.9, and N is given for the high pressure compressor, that is 1.3. Along with that, few more data is given, that is diameter of first cylinder 50 centimeter, nothing but 0.5 meters. Inlet pressure, so T1 is here, I will write P1 1 bar, then P2 is equal to P3, that is equal to 3 bar. Why? Because if you see here, air is where it is in the intercooler, air is cooled at constant pressure. That's why we can write from P2 to P3. Temperature is reduced but pressure remaining constant, 3 bar. And third stage P4 is also given as 10 bar. It is double acting, so I will write K is equal to 2. Then motor efficiency 0.86. Let me draw the important thing. First thing is PV diagram to understand this compressor. So what we see here is suction is taking place. So what is the pressure? 1 bar. Temperature 20 degrees centigrade. So air is taken in, then it is compressed adiabatically. Air is compressed adiabatically to pressure 3 bar, and this adiabatic process I will write PV power 1.4 is equal to constant 1. What they have told, at 3 bar the gases will be cooled down to 35 degrees centigrade. So this cooling process we will mark here 2 to 3. This is cooling process, and at constant pressure temperature is dropped to 35 degree. Next again it is compressed to pressure of 10 bar. So from 2 to 10 bar pressure, 1 bar, 2 bar and 10 bar pressure. So this is 4. This is 4. So this is multi-stage compression without clearance. Next, if we have to remember the same PV diagram for compressor with clearance, for multi-stage compressor with clearance, so I can write suction, compression in first stage, delivery in first stage, then gases in the clearance expands. During delivery the gases will be cooled from 2 to this I will mark it as 3 and 4. From 2 to 5 gases are cooled in the intercooler. Then here it will go to the second stage. The gases will not be discharged to the tank, it will go to second stage. For that pressure gases will be delivered to the tank, remaining gases expands. So this is with clearance, so VC. Here there is no VC without clearance. So there will be respective pressures and temperature values. Okay, so problem may be any kind, maybe with clearance or without clearance. Accordingly that should be solved. To start with, we'll do without clearance. Later we'll solve problems on with clearance. Otherwise also we should be able to solve with the same logic applied for what we did for single stage compressor. So next we will use the data given to calculate the work input. we will first now write the data. So the data given are, first is RPM. So we have already noted down the data, and again we'll copy this some important data. N is 120 RPM, diameter 0.5 meters, this is D1. Then inlet pressure 1 bar, and temperature 293 Kelvin. Similarly, what else is important? We have P2 3 bar, and temperature T2 we have to find. T3 is there. T3 is 308 Kelvin. So we'll start with first. We have been asked to find the work input or power input to drive the compressor. That is to find work input or power input to the compressor. So with this data, I'll just divide this page. Now what we have to calculate first, we'll calculate what is the mass flow, because we know equation, right? IP is equal to mr T2 minus T1. So for this equation we need m dot. So to get m dot, we need volume flow rate into its density. So volume into density is m dot. So to get to volume flow rate, we need volume of the cylinder, that is nothing but area into length. So area into length is volume of the cylinder. This is pi d square by 4 into length 0.75 meters. 0.75 meters. So if we substitute area into length, we'll get volume, and with this volume, if I multiply, this volume is in terms of meter cube. This is the volume that compressor takes for one cycle. So if I multiply that with number of cycles, that is n, that is rp s, if I take in terms of rotation per second. So I will get answer as meter cube per second. Then it becomes V dot volume flow rate. So if I substitute the value, pi by 4 into 0.5 into 0.75 into 120 by 60, this is 120 by 60. Now this is volume flow rate, that is meter cube per second for single acting, that is one side of the compressor. So that is for one side of the compressor. But as we have double acting compressor, are two side compression, that is on both on TDC as well as at BDC. We can see air entry and exit. That's why we have to multiply this with 2. If I multiply this with 2, I will be able to get the answer, that is total, that is V dot total flow rate, volume flow rate is. So if we calculate this, we will be getting the answer as 0.589 meter cube per second. This is one value. Then we need to find mass. So to get mass flow for this volume, we have to multiply with the density. How to get the density? We know that P is equal to rho RT. So we have this equation, P is equal to rho RT. So because of this, we can substitute pressure is equal to 100 kPa, that is 1 bar. This is 1 bar. Then density unknown, R 0.287, R is equal to 0.287. Then temperature at 1 bar, temperature is 293 Kelvin. So this is 293 Kelvin. Here we can substitute this as into 10 power 3, that is equal to rho into 287. R value is 287 and 293. We can write in any form, but we'll get the answer for rho density as 1.189 kg per meter cube. So because of this, now I will be able to substitute in this mass flow equation, that is m dot is equal to V dot into rho. That's why m dot, what we get is 1.189 into 0.589, that is 0.7 kg per second. So we have m here and we also know R. We can get the compressor work at low pressure turbine, sorry, low pressure compressor, not turbine. So let me draw this. What we need is indicated power for low pressure compressor. This is IP for low pressure compressor. M dot A into R, T2 minus T1. So if we see the equation here, this is gamma. So equation for this stage is m dot R into T2 minus T1. So this is T1, here you will get T2. So for these 2 points. Similarly in this place, but n by n minus 1 is replaced by gamma minus 1. So here I will write gamma by gamma minus 1 that is equal to what is the value, gamma 1.4 by 1.4 minus 1 into MA is 0.7, R we will substitute as 0.287 because we will get answer in terms of kilowatt. Otherwise we can keep 287, answer we will get in terms of watt, into 287 into T2 minus T1. Now we have T1 but we don't have T2. Now we have to find T2. For that we have relation. If you can remember, T2 by T1 is equal to P2 by P1 power gamma minus 1 by gamma. So T2 becomes T2 becomes T1 293, P2 3 by 1 to the power 0.4 by 1.4. So the answer is 401.4 Kelvin. So with substitution of 401.4 minus 293, I will get low pressure turbine indicated power as 75.97 kilowatt. So this is 75.95 kilowatt for low pressure compressor. Similarly for high pressure compressor, here the equation is same. T4 minus T3, that is 1.3 by 0.3, M 0.7, mass remaining constant same. This I will substitute 287, and if I substitute this as 287, then T4 we don't know, T3 is there, T3 is 35 is already given, so no problem, we will use the same equation, that is T4 by T3 is equal to P4 by P3 power, that is pressure ratio is same, that is 10 by 3, and P4 actually it is, if you see this, there is nothing like P4, only 1 2 3 pressures are there, so I can write this, make this as P3 by P2. So if we see, if we remember, there is only 3 pressures, so we will take pressure ratio between. So I will repeat. So there is only 3 pressures, P1, P2, P3. That's why for the second stage, 4.4.3 T4 by T3 is equal to P3 by P2, that is 10 by 3 power. This is n minus 1, 1.3 minus 1 by 0.3. That is into T3. T3 we know 308. Therefore T4 we will get as T4, if we calculate, we will get T4 as 406. T4 is 406 Kelvin. If I substitute 406.64 minus 308 Kelvin, then I will get indicated power of high pressure compressor is 85.8 into 10 power 3 watt, that is 85 kilowatt, roughly nearly 85 kilowatt. Total power is equal to low pressure compressor plus high pressure compressor power, which is 75.9 plus 85.8, which is nearly 161.85 kilowatt. So now motor power output means how much. So now we have calculated total power, that is 161 kilowatt. This is the power which is actually given at the shaft, at the piston. Okay, so if we take this is the piston, so this is the power given at the piston. But in the problem they have also given efficiency. So efficiency means the motor connected will have losses, and also this compressor will have losses. So in order to have account of these losses, they have given efficiency. Those efficiency values are, so 90%, and another one is 80%, sorry 86%. So we will write final power input. We will get the answer 209.1 kilowatt. So this is final answer for single stage, sorry, double stage or two stage double acting compressor without clearance. This is without clearance. The problem is without clearance. So we'll get 209 kilowatt of power to be given as input.